Hello students, Sairam. I welcome you all to part 3 of chapter number 9, Living Organisms, Characteristics and Habitat. In previous session, I taught you as the types of habitat. In that I have explained you that there are two types of habitat, terrestrial habitat and aquatic habitat. Now we will study about terrestrial habitat in detail. Different terrestrial habitats are desert habitat, mountain regions, grassland regions, polar areas regions, and we will try to understand what features are present in the animals or in the plants of these regions which makes them to survive in the particular terrestrial habitat. So first we'll talk about the animals which are present in desert region. Children, as we know that deserts climate is very hot and dry, and there is very less rainfall, so availability of water is very less. We find animals such as camels, desert rats, lizards and desert snakes in the desert. If we'll talk about the plants, we will find very low vegetation in desert, and the cactus is mainly found in the desert region. And now children, some examples of adaptation of living beings in deserts are as follows. Now children, we'll see how the animals which are present in desert, which type of which type of certain features makes them to survive in the desert region. So first we'll see adaptation in desert animal. In that first we'll see adaptation in camel. A camel shows many adaptations which helps to it to live in the hot desert. First thing is, camel's long leg helps to keep their body away from the heat of the hot desert, hot sand in the desert. Then second adaptation is the wide and the padded feet of camel helps it to easily walk on the sand. Then a camel can drink lot of water at one go and can go on for many days without drinking water. Children, these are the adaptations which are adapted by the camels, so that camel can survive in the desert area. Here children, camels can survive for 20 days without drinking water and can drink more than hundreds liters of water at a time if camel is thirsty. The camel produces dry dung and very little urine, and they do not sweat in order to conserve water. Since camels lose very little water from their body, they can live for many days without water. Next children, hump is present on the camel's back. Yes, can you see here? Hump is present on the camel's back here. This hump can store fats. It helps them to survive for longer periods without food and water. Next, as camel have long eyelashes. Here children, you can see camel have long eyelashes in the picture, which prevents the sand from getting into its eyes. Now children, next we'll study about the desert rats and snakes. Desert rats and snakes stay in deep burrows in the sun to stay away from the intense heat. During the day, these animals come out only during night when it is cooler outside. Body color of many desert snakes resembles to the color of the desert sand, and hence they are less visible to their predators. Now next we'll see adaptation in desert animal plants. As there is in desert, the availability of water is very less. Desert plants have some features so that they can reduce water loss and can survive in desert conditions too. Here children, next is your desert plant have very deep roots so that they can access water from the great depth. Children, here we will see certain habitats or certain habits which are adapted by the desert plants so that they can survive in desert condition. First is they are having long deep roots which penetrates into the sand in search of water. And next is in desert plants, leaves are either absent or very small, or they are present in the shape of spines. That means leaves of desert plant are modified into spine-like structure. Children, here in the image you can see here this these are the spines. These are the spines which are modified leaves. So children, this cactus plant have many spines. You can see here spines, which are the leaves, modified leaves of the cactus plant or desert plant. And this broad green part is the stem. Next, this spine-like structure helps in the preventing water loss by transpiration. Children, do you remember transpiration? What is transpiration? Which I have taught you in chapter number 7. Transpiration is the process of loss of excess water through the stomata which are present on the leaves. So, children, in this case, if the leaves are not there, that means the stomata is also not there. Here, the leaves are present in the form of spines. And see, children, as we know that in transpiration, water loss is through leaves. Now, as the leaves are modified in the form of spines, there is a less water loss because of leaves. And next is, children, here as I told you, desert plants leaves are either absent or are very small, or they are present in the form of the spine. Then how photosynthesis happens in this type of the plants? Yes, children, photosynthesis in these plants is usually carried out by the stems. Here you can see the stems are broad one and the green in color. So here the stems carried out the process of food making. That means they are carrying out the process of food making, that we call as photosynthesis for the survival of this plant. So children, as I told you, your photosynthesis process is carried out by the stems, and here these stems are having wax coating and they are spongy. That means this wax coating prevents evaporation, and the spongy part inside the stem helps in the restoring of the water. Now children, here the next habitat, which is mountain habitat. In habitat or mountain regions, here children, as we know that the mountain habitat is very cold, and the mountain habitat is very cold and snowfall takes place in winters in some areas. Now we'll study how animals and plants which are present in mountain region are able to survive in such conditions. We will see some common trees like oak, pine, devdar in mountain regions, which we do not find in the plain areas. And if we talk about the animals, we find mountain goats, sheep, snow leopards in mountain region. Now next we will move to the next topic, and in this topic we will see adaptations which are adapted by the plants and animals of mountain region for their survival. And we will see which all type of some specific features or habits which they have developed for their survival. Here children, animals and mountain region have thick coat of fur. This helps in keeping them warm during cold winters. Here children, yak have long hair to keep them warm. Then snow leopards have thick fur on their body, including feet and toes. This protects its feet from cold when they walk on the snow. Mountain goats have strong hooves, which helps them in running along the rocky mountain slopes. Here children, you can see the image of hoof. Here these are the hoofs of the goat, which helps them or which protects their feet from the cold when they walk on the snow. Your next children, mountain goat have strong hoofs. Yes. Next we'll see the adaptation in the mountain plants. We'll see how mountain plants are able to survive in this cold regions of the mountains, or we can say that which certain specific habits or specific features they have developed in their bodies for their survival. Here children, in this we'll study adaptations of mountain plants. As we know that in mountains we find devdar, pine, oak trees. These trees are normally cone-shaped and have sloping branches. This helps the rainwater and snow to slide off easily. The leaves of some of these trees are needle-like to reduce water loss due to windy weather. The needle shape of the leaves also helps them in preventing accumulation of snow on the leaves, and thus they are not damaged due to the snow. Next, children, deciduous trees shed their leaves before winter to prevent water loss or loss of water to survive in winter. As in winter, water freezes and water is not available for plant roots. So they shed their leaves for the survival, so that if the leaves are not there, there is no transpiration, and if there is no transpiration, that means this removal of excess water will not happen. So that this shedding of leaves helps them to reduce the transpiration process. For now, next we'll see adaptations in grassland animals. Grasslands are characterized as lands dominated by grass rather than the large shrubs or trees. Many animals live in the grassland in the forest. The climate of the grassland is warm and food is available in good amount. But because of heavy population, the competition for food and other resources is tough in the grassland and in the forests. Now we will see how the adaptations are developed by the grassland animals. Here, children, let us have a look here, or let us take some example of animals to understand adaptation for the grassland. Here, children, first is lion. A lion is a ferocious hunter. It is strong because of its muscular body. The sharp claws of lions helps them in killing prey. These claws retract inside when they are running, and thus a lion can walk without making a noise. The color of lion is pale yellow or light brown color, which mixes with the color of the dry grass and the rocks. Thus, body color of lion helps it in hiding from its prey. The eyes are present in front of the face, which allows it to have the correct idea about the location of its prey. Next animal found in this grassland is tiger. A tiger is a good hunter as a lion. The black strips on its body of the tiger looks like a grasses to its prey. Next, we'll see the animal which is present in the grassland is deer. Here, children, a deer is a fast runner. It can sprint very fast to save its life from the predator. Its brown color helps them to hide in the dry grassland. A deer has very good hearing ability, which helps it in hearing the steps of an approaching predator. The eyes of the deer are on the side of its head, so that it can rotate its eyes almost in 180 degree, and the position of this deer's eyes helps it in seeing a predator which is coming from behind. A deer has strong teeth for chewing hard plants, stems of the forest and the grassland. Now next we'll see adaptations of animals which are present in the polar regions. We know that polar regions are found in Arctic and Antarctic region, where the climate is extremely cold. In winters, temperature falls below -37 degrees Celsius. These regions are covered with snow. So let's study about the animals which are found in polar region and what all are the special features or the habits they have for the survival in the polar region. We generally find polar bears and penguins commonly in the polar region, or we can say that polar bears and the penguins are the animals which are commonly found in the polar regions. So first we'll talk about the polar bear. The white fur of polar bear is not easily visible in snowy white background. Because of white color, its predators and prey are unable to see them in the snow. And polar bears have thick layer of fur which keeps its body warm in cold weather. It has a layer of fat under its skin. This fat insulates its body from the cold and keeps them warm. It has long, curved and sharp claws, which helped it to walk on the ice. It has very strong sense of smell, which helps the polar bear to locate and catch its prey. So these are the reasons because of which polar bear can easily survive in harsh cold climate of the polar region. Next, we'll see what are adaptations or what are features which are adapted by the penguins to survive in the cold region. Let's see here. First is the white and black color of the penguin. White color merges well with the white background of the snow. Second thing is the thick skin of the penguin. It also, yes student, here this thick skin helps them to keep warm their body in the cold region. Even they have a lot of fats which also keeps their body warm in the cold region, cold climate. And third thing, the penguins, they huddle together. Here children, huddling means they all walk together in groups or they live in the groups so that they can keep their body warm. Here children, these are the reasons because of that penguins can survive in the harsh cold climate of polar regions. So children, here today I am ending this session. In today's session we have seen adaptations or specific features present in the plants and animals of terrestrial habitat. In the next session we'll see adaptation in aquatic habitat. Till then, take care. Goodbye children.